Love Tyrant is slowly but surely becoming one of the series I'm most excited to watch every single week. I was worried that possibly this could be a one-trick pony because last week's episode I thought was very funny, was very clever, but I could easily see how it could get stale even in like a second or third episode. But episode 2 kind of wipes away my worries, at least for now, because this was literally, I would say actually, I thought it was a bit more funny than the first episode. I thought the first episode was pretty funny. Like literally when we first start the episode off and we see a blow-up doll of Akane in the blonde-haired girl's car, it was just like, okay, we know this anime is not going to be holding back here. And throughout the episode, just seeing the absurdity of the comedy and just how much it just felt like it was kind of mocking a lot of cliches and tropes, not to the extent that the characters were kind of going, haha, we're making fun of the cliches and tropes, it just naturally happened with their characters, was absolutely hilarious to me. This series is as stupid as it gets, but it rolls with it to make the story stupid, and in doing so makes it really entertaining. I mean, the visuals are just working hand in hand, similar to Gabriel Dropout of last season. I thought the facial reactions and just the way the animation and art worked for the story, it made the actual comedy and jokes more funny than if it was animated in a different way, and I think this holds true for Love Tyrant as well, because literally, the facial reaction just like how over-exaggerated and how anime they make this, shows why this series needs to be in an anime form, as even if I was to read this on like a manga or something like this, I wouldn't find this as funny, but it's because of this extra level of animation and charm and also the voice acting that really makes it this funny to me. And I really like this episode because, once again, we take something that's super cliche and like predictable. We have this teacher-student relationship, but I mean, they kind of present it in a different way of the teacher wanting the student supposedly not wanting the teacher. Obviously she does, by the end we can see that. But I liked how they just rolled with this, because like literally last week, like what did we have? We had like incest, love triangles, we had like every little type of trope in, in this weird kind of love square at this point. And I just loved how they just took it like, well, I mean, well, I'm a teacher, I can't love the student. And it's just this like slow but surely just getting it more and more insane, like literally interrogating the teacher, trying to make him confess, to then the whole bank robbery situation where my favorite part of the entire episode, it's one single word that is said by one of the robbers when everything's happening, because these robbers literally just robbed a bank, they're holding two people at gunpoint, and there's just this side conversation and stupidity happening in front of him, and the one robber just looks to his like other, I think it's actually his brother, or he's just calling him bro, but he literally is just like, bro. And it's just this perfect moment of him being like, what in the actual hell is going on? We're robbing a bank, we're holding people at gunpoint, and these people are having a side conversation about stupid love. Like, what's going on? And I just love that moment. But I think it's just like, it got progressively more and more stupid. Like, we already knew this was kind of a stupid show, and I'm using that as a compliment. This is a stupid show, but that's what makes it work. Kind of similar to like something like Keijo, or just Akiba's Trip, the animation. And I just loved when we see Akane see that our main character got grazed by a bullet, and she being the ultimate yandere she is, literally kicking these robbers' ass. It was just great. I mean, they kind of went for an approach of like trying to make it a bit more sweet at the end, showing that the student did love the teacher, and that when she's no longer a student, that she will accept his feelings. I didn't really care too much about that myself. I was just more into it for the comedy, but it didn't take away from the enjoyment or anything like that. They wanted to go that route. It made sense for the actual episode. But I mean, we also get introduced to our main character's sister, who I honestly thought was a guy. I was like, oh, he got a little brother. Oh no, it's a little sister, which we can already tell based on how the episode ends. Maybe they're not going to go this route, but just with how they're kind of executing everything, it more or less seems like the little sister probably also has a crush on her brother, and she's gonna get wrapped up into the romance with the whole kiss no. I mean, we already had one little bit of incest, kind of hinted at in the beginning, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they went that way. I will be honest, if this actually was a little brother, I think it'd be far more funny if the little brother was attracted to older brother, and then just the whole demons and whatnot were just like, oh my god, it's yaoi, but it's incestual yaoi. I think that would be more funny, but they're probably gonna go the route of his little sister loving him. I mean, it's just with how they're building up cliches and taking just concepts and just making fun of them, it seems like it's gonna happen, but it's just so over the top and funny, I think it works. This was a series I had on my radar. I wasn't sure if I was gonna watch it week to week, or if I was gonna binge it, or maybe just not watch it at all, but I'm so glad I gave this a shot, because this is really, it's just comedy of the season so far for me. I'm loving the comedy, I'm loving the characters, it's so over the top, it's so absurd that it just works. I mean, if people didn't like the first episode, this episode shouldn't change their mind, mainly because it's more more of the same, just slightly more elevated to make it, at least in my opinion, more funny. I think if people love the first episode, they're probably gonna love this one as well. I mean, still, the whole, like, literally starting the episode off with a blow-up doll of Akane and literally having the robbers just being like, what in the hell is going on? I love the character dynamics this week, and I can't wait to see what they do for the remainder of this season. I think it's just, so far it really has me, like, they've really raised my expectations with this series, with this episode, and I hope it doesn't let me down, but even if they keep up half the level of comedy that they've shown us so far, I think I'm gonna have a great time with this season. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or do you think it was just okay? Before you leave, hit that like button to share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.